Good morning and welcome everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over an overview of what we can see going on in this market so far. Right now XRP sits at the $2.20 mark, and what we're going to have to see this morning is this a breakdown retest of the resistance that we were trying to use as support on the way down at $2.20, or is this going to be an overtake to start the week? Right now, got a lot to be desired here in the 3-hourly. It ends in 5 minutes. It's still slightly under that $2.20.5. That's the pattern setup that we need to desperately get back over. That pivot layer. Otherwise, we could fall all the way to $1.95. Now, let's just say we were able to retake that $2.20 mark. Then it would line us up pretty easily with a push back up, as we've already hit what I consider the neckline here at like $2.08. So we came all the way down to the neckline and used it as support right now. And now we really need to pull back up. If we lose $2.08, the next likely scenario would be just below here at $2, just about $2. So the $2.08 is held. We know that the trading day is going to be weird. Our clocks are an hour ahead starting yesterday as we went spring forward. So right now, some of you might be used to it being 6:55 a.m. where I live. It's 7:55 a.m., which means about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we get this ultra volatility. So we need to see if this is a sustained rally or if this was just a retest of the drop point support that is now trying to act as a resistance. That is what we're trying to figure out here. If we do lose $2.20, we know we have that $2.08 we bounced off of, so we went from about 207, 208 back up to 220. So it was a nice springboard. But if we fall any farther, and we were to get rejected at this, it's about 220.5. That's your make it or break it zone. And at least $2.08 held. That allowed us to avoid the drop to like $1.98 to $2 area, even $1.95 potentially. So it at least allowed us to avoid that drop as of right now. But now we're going to need some sustainability. Over the weekend, they always try to get people to sell in the fear. I always tell my audience, don't sell the fear. If anything, wait for that rebound. And even if it has a big drop, you can at least sell the retest of the drop point. And that's where we're at right now. We had a big drop. We're not quite up to the top of this drop, but we're back up to the 220 support. So we'll see how this plays out. We're up 3.7% this morning. I want to see how we react when the market's open. We'll do the intro, but right now we've got two different things in the Fear and Greed Index. So on the CMC, CoinMarketCap, it says 17, so we're in extreme fear. Now when you go over to the alternative.me, we're still in extreme fear, but it shows 20. So we're back into extreme fear, and like I told my audience, you don't sell fear. You don't sell extreme fear, especially. You're trying to buy the fear, extreme fear. You want to sell the greed and extreme greed. So it's backwards because it's obviously a tentative moment when you get into extreme fear, and your first inclination is to just sell. But that's not the way to go. You want to sell the greed and extreme greed, but you want to be buying up the fear and extreme fear. That's the only way to get ahead in crypto. So good morning. 7:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, March 10th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And while we're doing this morning, DGB is trying to bounce back to that 0.1055, so 1.055 cents. That's a major pivot point for DGB. If we can hold that, there was two of them. The support structure was around 00986. Fortunately, we're using that as a support. Now we've got to overtake 1055. And once we do take that support, you're going to open up these layers. You're going to have 1, 2, which we already came up and touched once. So it actually hit that resistance up here. Now it's back testing the lower FVGs, which is actually a really good sign. Now if you can get on top of that, it's going to be kind of by layer. And I hate doing this with DGB, but it caused so much different resistance that even though we have a technical move up to 1.8 cents, you've got a resistance now at 1055, 120, 138, 155. So if you're asking me what am I looking at on the way up for resistance, that's all you need to know. So make sure you put that on your chart. We'll cover this more as the day goes on. especially if you join the live tonight at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll go into a lot of different cryptos. We'll go into Bitcoin, Ethereum. As Ethereum's up 5.6% this morning. The big area for Ethereum, it came all the way back down and double bottomed at 1,979. So that was an opportune moment for sure, especially if you think it's going to come up. And I at least retested the 20-day and the 2-hour. Now if it breaks that, we got the 200-day will be the next on tap. So we have to watch these very closely. And I do have to get my son to school. We got to leave here in 15 minutes. So I'm going to be ending this in just a minute, about a 10-minute update. But I wanted to go around the world real quick. Bitcoin with this resistance, we'd have to get back over to get on top of this bearish side, at least the first layer. You know, we put ourselves in a spot here. We need to get over that 85,800. Otherwise, another rejection here is going to send us down to that 74K target likely. So we'll see. But we're going to see if we can get some power here now that the ETFs are back online, the exchange traded funds. And we're going to see if we can end up taking this in a bullish position instead of just breaking down. Last but not least, XLM up 3.08%. Trying to get back within this descending wedge. It held the uptrend perfectly at 26.5. It came down below to 26, 25.9, but bounced right back up. Now we need to get over this 27.3 cents in that descending wedge. At least we held the wider pattern. If we do get rejected here, the technical drop could be all the way down to 21.3 cents. So we do pay attention to that very, very closely. And then the XRP Bitcoin pairing up 0.26%, 0.25%. Kind of fell a little bearish here, so there could be something going on with Bitcoin here to where Bitcoin has a nice little surge because there's a death cross in the 2-hourly, got rejected on the 200-day. So, you know, if this does break down farther, we got a little bit of damage going on. There's death cross here as well. So we're going to have to retake this area at 0.00027, so the 2710 sat level, and then we could start pushing back up. Otherwise, we could invalidate this thesis here. It looks like a nice inverse head and shoulders. And if we came down, you could theoretically come and not invalidate this. I would say, I mean, hell, you could come all the way to the 2240. So we're just going to have to watch how this plays out this Monday morning. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you appreciate what I do, make sure to hit that like button. And share this on social media. It will definitely help get the word out. Make sure to subscribe and join the over 31,400 subscribers. And comment and let me know what you think about the market setup right now. If you're looking to trade crypto, especially when we're having these downturns, make sure to go to my video description below under pinned comments or go to my homepage. BITUNIX is the lowest spot in other trading fees, lowest maker-taker fee. And you really should take advantage if you're a high-volume trader. Take advantage of this. If you deposit $500, you get $50 back just for trading the futures once. $1,000, get $100 back. But if you're a high volume trader, 1 million in futures volume, you get 20 XRP, 5 million, 100, 10 million, 150, 20 million in trading volume on the futures, 400 XRP. And if you trade $50 million in the month of March in futures, you get 800 XRP for free. And the value just continues to grow. That's up near $2,000 value. So if you're going to trade anyhow, take advantage of it. If not, don't overextend yourself. Pay attention to the crypto fear and greed index sitting up where it's at. And right now, the best I can tell you is if XRP holds $2.20, then we can start pushing up universally. If we don't, it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare. So we need to hold $2.08 at all costs. And well, $2.08 or $2, but we really need to hold that $2.20. And then we could start to right the ship here this morning. If we hold $2.20, the next opportunity for XRP would be to start surging back up a little bit. Come retest this 200 at $2.40 and then come up and try to bust out at $2.51. Anything outside of that, a rejection at $2.20.5, which we're on the cusp right now of trying to support resistance. Right now it's a resistance hit unless we get farther up and then can back test. But we haven't given it away yet. And if this breaks down, it's going to end up falling pretty quickly to that $1.93.9. So, and that's the bottom of the falling channel. And that's also the neckline support. So the next layer down would be the neckline support. If that breaks, that's when you get into some serious trouble. And then that $1.50 that we talked about in December, that could be a possibility. When we're at $3.30, could actually come into play. So just be vigilant, be cautious, pay attention in the next 45 minutes to an hour as the USA starts waking up, the East Coast starts waking up, and we can see if this was a fluff job or as it looks like right now, we could be starting to get hot, and we can use that extreme fear to our advantage. Have a blessed day, everybody.